Well, hello there, hi there. Welcome to Just Bird. Today we're going to talk about this David case. I'm going to do a little reading, just a preliminary reading. And the second reading, I will pull out the investigations deck as well as Trish James, the Hollywood Stardust or Shadows or whatever that deck is. I'll do that. But today, let's just touch base and see what maybe these charms and this oracle has to offer as far as the Celeste Rivas Hernandez case pertaining to David Anthony Burke. Now, I know I've been following it sort of, but I'm not absorbed, just not encapsulated with the story. It's not all encompassing for me. My understanding is the young girl was 14 years old and she was found in the frunk of David Burke's Tesla vehicle. And that's all they know. There's no person of interest or suspect at this time. All that means is that the police do not have enough evidence to hold him on the big charge, right? They want a conviction, and they don't want to just hold him. They know they can go in. They can go in and possibly get him on something less. But those lesser charges that y'all are like, can't they pick him up? Yeah, they can. But due diligence. Allow the investigation to take place because there's a young woman. There's a young girl found in a trash bag that's no longer here. So let them do their job. Let them do their job. I'm going to take you back to 2002. 2002 to Wyoming County, Pennsylvania. This is the town that I grew up in. And in 2002, the town pharmacist, his last name was Kurkowski, and his he was the town pharmacist, and he was doing some pharmaceuticaling to the community off hours, if you know what I'm saying. So he got pinched or popped or whatever you'd like to call it, and his trial was set. He already had a trial date. In a world of trouble, 37-year-old pharmacist out of a small little town. But he'd been in contact with his attorneys and, everything. The trial date comes up and, Kurkowski cannot be found. But he had been in touch with his family over the past couple of days and with his attorney who was set for trial. So they knew that Kurkowski went missing over the weekend before his trial was set to date. This was a huge scandal in a small little town. Huge. So, the authorities, they're on the hunt. They're searching for Kurkowski. They want this guy. The feds are looking. And the news is just, doing what they do, and boy, did they get it wrong. But, he's on the run. He jumped bail and took his girlfriend with him because they went up to Ms. Bassett's house, his girlfriend, to look for him, and she's gone too. MIA, nowhere to be found, not returning calls, no phone's dead, everything. So they're on the run. They keep running all of these stories. These two are on the run. Well, jump ahead to 2003. some other nitwit career criminal. Well, he's looking to get himself out of a pickle. I don't know what this man did, but it must have been something because, something horrible, because he was just a running his chops. And boy, did he told the detectives all about Kurkowski and Ms. Fassett, and he told them exactly where they could find them. And the entire time, this whole year, they're on the hunt. They're looking overseas. Where'd they flee to? New Mexico, wherever. Cuba, everywhere. They're thinking, where's this guy? What ties does he have? Blah, blah, blah. Because he had some money, he was a pharmacist. And his family had some money, too. However, this guy was but 15 to 20 minute ride away from the county. Just the next county down. Just a little, hop, skip, and a jump. So the detectives were on their way. But there was a hitch. When the detectives arrived, they had to come with bulldozers because, the pharmacist and his girlfriend, Ms. Fassett, well, they were in the backyard, not breathing. So, the good little criminal, the snitch, he let the detectives know his part, his part was like he had zip ties and stuff, the minimal things. He didn't partake in any of the shenanigans that, no, he didn't do any of that. No, that was all Hugo Zelinsky. Now let me take you back to 1989. I got kicked out of school, so I had to go live with my mama. And my mom lived in Luzerne County. I had class with Hugo Zelinsky. He was a mullet, blonde, dirty blonde hair, ice blue eyes, quiet, brooding, concert t-shirts, Levi's jean jacket, Levi's jeans, and some kind of treads. Bad boy. But there was a bad boy, boys who had an edge, and then there was, psychopaths, like Hugo. It was no surprise that the detectives ended up in Hugo's backyard. Not to me. I was not shocked by any means, and I never even had exchanged words with this boy, but we did puff pass in the bathroom a few times, whatever. It was high school. So, let's jump back ahead to 2003. It's 2003. And the detectives, well, they can't even arrest Hugo, even though he, the pharmacist and stuff in the backyard, and the snitch. Well, they had to prove it. Even though they had, they had an unreliable source who was trying to get out of life in prison or maybe the death penalty, who knows, career criminal and all. So they can't just go on his good word, and his zip tie theory. They literally had to do a full investigation where they had solid evidence. Bodies and residencies. That doesn't mean that Hugo did anything. However, in 2015, Hugo Zelinsky was convicted of the murder of Kurkowski and Ms. Fassett. 2003, It happened in 2002. A conviction did not occur or transpire until 2015, folks. Give the detectives time. Give them time. If they're real detectives, they're really not sitting well or sleeping well at night. This case is one of those cases that will be disturbing, and it will get under their skin until they figure it out. And let's just pray that they figure it out and find the evidence, right? Because they can figure it out. We all know, right, in our heart of hearts. Oh, let me just go back to Hugo Zelinsky's backyard. Upon digging up and finding Kurkowski and Ms. Bassett, which he was convicted of, they also found 5 other sets of remains in Hugo's backyard that he was not found guilty on any or charged because there was no evidence. One of those bodies were so far gone that they couldn't be identified. The other 4 sets of remains were identified, as were their families. Now, in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that Hugo Zelinsky is 100% culpable and responsible for every single one of those sets of remains that were found in his backyard. And I believe the young man has been, I think there's more. I think he's been doing this since the 90s. It was only 2003 when they caught up with him. But I think there's more because he didn't always live on this road. That's so weird because in 2003 I moved out of that county. I lived on the same road as Hugo, but I was in this county. I had moved and all of this commotion was going on, but I had my own stuff going on in my own life, I wasn't minding what was going on back home, but my girlfriend was keeping me filled in along the way, So what I'm trying to say is don't lose hope. However, the more time that goes on, the colder this case is going to get. And somebody, I hope, if, somebody speaks up. However, this could also be one of those industry things. You know what I mean? Where it's all, how shall I say? Not what it appears to be. But some ain't right, in Hollywood. What do we have here? We have family and home. Well, that's on fire, so we're talking about the Celeste Rivas case. Or it could be his family's heated too. However, I don't know what this means. Money, finances, and wealth, but it's triangular. And we got the rainbow. It usually means luck. Hopes and wishes. Well, your hope, but that's very challenging. Got the mountain. It's, The key is physical and the mind. So something tangible and physical could be the physical body, but something physical is part of the information. Could be the physical home. Could be part of, and the mind, settling his mind is, so maybe he's mental. Just saying. Maybe he's mental. Ooh. Well, we're going to take all the upside down ones off the board and only read what's left. I'll figure out what that means in the meantime. Okay, things are changing within his spirit, and there's a crossroads there as far as his emotions. And we've got, he needs to ground his emotions so that he can get focused. Maybe get out in nature because things are changing. Trust your intuition. It's kind of right in between what he needs to embrace, but I need to see what this is. It looks like a sun to me, but I don't know. Spirituality, well, yeah, he's nuts. So his faith-based, his beliefs in spirit are a little nutty. Could mean something else, but I'm going to take it at face value. Could be somewhere out of this world, and this is far out of view. So wherever this would come in as far as career and work, it's a long road ahead, and it would be something outlandish. But let's see. What do these mean? We'll just start with the acorns. Well, here, triple horn of Odin. That's what this one is. And do we have a key word? This will help to enrich relationships. Okay. Pursuit of wisdom and divine secrets. Okay, so there's secrets within the family and home. All right. Fire to me that family's got some secrets. All right. What does this one mean? This character. Don't know. The tree, he needs to ground himself in his friendships because they may be able to help. Just saying. The mushroom. Mushrooms can grow in many different conditions, even the less agreeable. So, he's not feeling so good. Whatever a less agreeable condition, it's messing with his emotions, and he can't focus. What's this bird? He's at peace, though, with that dove. I suspect that he knows exactly what happened to her. Exactly what happened. A friend may be lending him some money. It could be part of the information, but a friend could be opening doors. Somebody's, this could be the key to the Tesla. It's attached to the friend. I want to know what the crossroad is. The circle with the cross. Well, we have a decagram for the sun, and it's a symbol of balance. All right. Made from upright and reverse pentagrams joined together. It's a sign to create more balance in your life. You need to make time for the things you must do, but also the things you want to do. You got the power to bring about this balance. It's a reminder to do more things that bring you a sense of fulfillment and feed your soul, rather than just focusing on work and your to-do list. Well, David doesn't have to worry about work. Who's going to hire him? McDonald's? Burger King? He can go get him one of their jobs at warehouse. They hire ex-cons. I don't know about people with pending charges, such as, he's not pending charges, but who would hire him? Because I know here we're supposed to believe, innocent until proven guilty, but And he may well be innocent of some things, but he's also incredibly guilty of some other things. Now, who would want to set him up? People who are about to gain a lot of money. And the only people making money off of D4DV, or I'm sorry, D4vd, is the record label. Leaves are associated with hope. We all need to have hope in life as it contributes to our sense of well-being. Well, he's lost his hope. It feels nuts. It's that crossroads. That'll tell me more about the hope of the situation. The hope. Well, where is it? I don't know. But the 8 cards are about the beginning, but I need to know what that... I think it's a crossroads, just a crossroads. Like, let's see what the book says. Solar cross. A solar cross charm represents the 4 seasons. Oh, so this is going to go on for a while. Like the investigation and stuff. And him not being able to focus and, everything. It's been going on for a while. Alright, so solar cross. This is the sign to seek more harmony in your life by prioritizing your own well-being in your relationships at work and in your social environments. You can help to create a positive state of inner peace. Okay, so this will in turn enable harmony to flow in your life. Well, he's out of balance. There's no harmony. He needs to ground himself. He's not focused. He's an emotional wreck. But maybe he's still singing. I don't know. Doves to me equal peace, but they could be messengers. It could be that he's hearing from her in spirit. But let me see. And I'm talking about Celeste. Oh, did I just see it? There it is. Yeah. As well as peace, the dove is also a symbol of love. He loves himself. It's a reminder to cultivate more love in your life in every form, including your relationships with family and friends. This includes self-love too. It transmits encouragement. Well, this is just letting me know that it was about love and, he's being coddled at home. What's wrong with those parents? Like, where does David stay right now? Not what's wrong with his parents. I'm sorry, that's rude. If they're normal, just say it's not an industry thing and just normal. What's wrong with the parents? But here I am judging, right? I don't know what the parents... Maybe the mom went out to get that AR, we're not allowed to say, pow, so that maybe the parents are afraid of him. Maybe they suspect that he's the one that called on their property since something pinged from their property, and who else would have access to their property other than their son? That spoofed a fake number. Hard to spoof a fake GPS, though. I'd hope. Who knows? Strange, though. Anyhow, tell me more about David and his involvement with Celeste Rivas. Ghost Garden, persistence and endurance. So, yeah, he wouldn't give up. The police aren't going to give up. Hellhound, betrayal, terror. Pull one more. Together forever. Close bonds and attachment. Okay, I'm going to say that he felt betrayed by her. Possibly with someone that he knew, with a close friend. And he betrayed her. Due to, like, possessiveness, like, you know. Took it for the long haul, too. Oh, gosh. I have questions. Like, I want to know. I have questions. Will Celeste Rivas find justice? Will she receive justice? Like, was she being ST or something by David and his management and, like, his circle of whomever? Was she being turned out by them? I mean, what would be so bad that they want, like, that I understand wanting to avoid jail because somebody is underage. Got it. Bad reputation. But there was no other way around it than, you know, a 14-year-old young girl ending up in a trash bag in somebody's frunk. Now, David's either a real good psychopath, where he had a lot of time on his hands as he felt, you know, isolated and kind of incarcerated by his parents. And when you're just left all day to play Fortnite and fantasize about sick shit, I don't know. No, they say the parents are Pentecostal. My opinion, another cult. My opinion, though. Abundance and good fortune. Yes, she will get justice. Abundance and good fortune. There's a lot of stairs to climb. But don't give up on these detectives. Honestly. Don't give up on them. And, you know, maybe David isn't responsible for the passing, right? They keep leaning into this toxicology, like, oh, everybody's saying it could have been an OD. Was there suspected use of substances? Is there anything that leads, like, her brother or her family to think that she was under the influence of something? I have no idea what Celeste's life was like, but I pray that she gets justice, and I hope it's a lot sooner than later, because there's still someone walking amongst us who's capable of putting a 14-year-old in a trash bag to rot instead of being responsible and calling authorities if it were a fluke where maybe she had an aneurysm or something. Funny how they don't think of things like that. Maybe it was a strange physical occurrence, like, aneurysms hit people out of the blue all the time, but they just keep repeating, an OD, an OD, an OD. That's not my first thought. And neither is an aneurysm. My first thought is somebody chopped her up when they keep reporting dismemberment and saying the words chopped up on TMZ. But we don't even have proper information on that because the authorities reported that the body was not intact, which could have been, I don't know, dissolved, which would mean if like her legs were dissolved and liquefied, that body been rotting in there for a long time. But funny how there's no legs to report, but the skin didn't slip off her hand with the shh tattoo. And you could see I guess the red ink clearly can see that. See, that to me is like, with the skin slippage and no legs, but the top half is just all in goodsy, but there's nothing down below. Where's the rest of her body? That's what I'd be looking for. I've got questions, but I don't have a right to know what the authorities are saying at every step of the way. I'm going to trust and believe that they're going to find out exactly what happened to Miss Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Because that's all I can do. You know what to do. Questions, all that. Let's dig into this disturbing, disgusting case.